Hello everyone, my name is Jarad Greene, and I am a cartoonist or graphic novelist, whatever you want to call it, and I thought I would record a video. I'm not sure how much footage I'll end up with or what this will turn into, if anything at all, but I was thinking I'm working on a new book, and maybe at the end of all of it I'll have a bunch of footage about the making of it, and that might be interesting for people who are curious about this job or are maybe aspiring to it themselves. So I would just try it out. I guess by the time I would be putting this out there in the world, my first book, Scullion, A Dishwasher's Guide to Mistaken Identity, is probably out in the world. Although this is the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, so I'm still at home. I'm not sure if anybody's actually seen this in a bookstore or if they just ordered it online and got it that way. Either way is fine. Who knows what the world will be like whenever this is out. But yeah, this was my very first book. I actually only have an ARC. So let's see, today is May 16th, 2020. And this comes out on July 8th, 2020. So I actually haven't gotten the final copies of it yet. Hopefully really soon they'll be arriving in the mail. That's so crazy. This book took such a long time to make. It's very strange to think that it's done and that people will see it and read it and love it or hate it or anything in between. I'm really proud of it, but it's my first book and I learned a lot doing it, and I'm really curious what people are going to say about it when it finally comes out. But these videos, I was thinking that I would talk about my new book, which is called A-OK. It's going to be published by a new imprint at HarperCollins called Harper Alley, and it is due to come out next fall, but I am currently still working on it. I'm actually kind of at the beginning stage still. I have a really short deadline for this book. I accepted the offer the week before Thanksgiving of November 2019, signed a contract in like January or February of 2020, started working on it, and then COVID-19 happened, so I'm stuck at home and I'm working on it. It's been really weird being in quarantine while working on a book. In some ways it seems ideal because you just have to stay home and sit at your desk and get it done, but weirdly I found it very difficult to write and draw during this time. Especially in the first month of quarantine, for sure. I've kind of gotten back into a rhythm, but all of my prior sort of rhythms or methods of working have kind of gone out the window, or went out the window at first. And now it's about establishing new ones and finding ways to work but not make myself crazy or go overboard. My new book is called A-OK. It's based on my experience growing up. It's kind of based on two experiences of mine. One, my 8th grade experience, what that time in my life was like. I went to a weird school that was sort of far away from where I lived. I didn't have a ton of friends, or the friends that I had, we lived really far apart from each other. And then it's also based on my acne experience. I had really bad acne when I was younger. I had 2 really bad sort of rounds of it. And so I took that experience of having really bad acne and all the thoughts that surround that, all the medications and doctor's visits, and sort of overlaid that on my 8th grade experience and created this book. So it's part fiction, part based on reality. I would say that it's, as of writing it right now so far, it feels very true, but it's not the truth, because it's not a memoir. It started out as a memoir, and I made a lot of changes to it, and it ended up in the form it's at now. I'm really happy with it, and I hope people like it. As of today, I have about 100 pages of thumbnails, so I'm still in the middle of writing it. You can see all of these. I guess by the time I may be releasing it, none of this will be a secret, really. These are the pages from the pitch that I put together. So I had about 22 pages when I was pitching it, and I've continued on, and I have started doing them in these double page spreads. So I have I think I've just about hit 100 pages, and the book is probably going to be closer to 200 pages, maybe even a little more. Like I said, I'm still writing it, so still figuring that out. Here's some like character paintings. So this one's the main character Jay, who's based on me. This character Lorelai, who's based on my sister. And some of the other characters. I took this sketchbook and I made a template of the final size of the book, and I'm just drawing the thumbnails in there so you can kind of see. And I don't know if this will be flipped in the actual video, but yeah. So it takes a lot of like energy and focus, maybe especially during quarantine, to sort of sit down and write and draw these thumbnails. I feel like cartoonists kind of fall into two categories of working. One are the kind who like to write a script, and then the script is broken down by page and panel, and so it's very clear like what they have to draw, but they do all of the script writing ahead of time. I fall more into the camp of like improv when it comes to writing, so I have a really detailed synopsis, and then I take that synopsis and I figure out like I'll take a chunk of it and say, okay, what are all the scenes that I have to write? And then I'll say, okay, scene number 1, and then I'll just start writing that sketchbook, and I'll start writing and drawing in tandem to put the scene together. And the thing with working this way is that ultimately I'll have to redraw a lot of things when I get editorial feedback. And if you work in that way, you just kind of have to be okay with having to redraw stuff, which I am, because I feel like I draw pretty fast. And especially once the whole book is done and I have all of the thumbnails and I can see the book in a more global way, it's much easier to like add and delete and change things. But right now it's in this like weird slow process where I'm like pulling it out of my head, and it's really hard. Some scenes are really easy, some are really hard. And as it always goes, I've like deviated a little from my synopsis. I ended up sort of combining 2 characters to be one, and so a part where they were split, they're now together, which kind of changed a couple of plot points, and so it was just kind of slow to figure out how to make it all work and tweak things as I go. And it takes place over the course of 1 school year. So right now I'm in December, and I'm like almost to the end of December, and then I have January through May, and then I'll send it to my editor. My editor is Andrew Arnold. I'm really excited to work with him. He went to a place called the Center for Cartoon Studies, where I also went. So we didn't overlap at all in our time at CCS, but it was kind of cool to be able to work with a CCS alumni. Sorry, my hair is my quarantine hair. My hair is so long. So I'm stuck inside and I can't get my hair cut. It's also starting to get warm, so I'm like wearing shorts and a t-shirt, but my hair is long and I'm wearing this winter hat, and it's like we're just figuring it out day by day. I ordered clippers, but they are back ordered, so we'll see how that goes. I probably won't record that. So I guess I'm here. I live in White River Junction, Vermont, and I've been here for almost 4 years. Like I said, I went to the Center for Cartoon Studies, which is here in this small town in rural Vermont. I grew up in Florida, which is where AOK is set, in Tampa, Florida. I lived in Columbia, South Carolina for a while, and now I live here. I'll record videos along the way. I just recorded a video of me sort of drawing some of the thumbnails. When it comes to penciling, I would probably, I'm recording on my iPad right now, and I will be drawing the book in Procreate. That's what I did for Scullion, and I found that to be a really nice way of working, because I could, on the iPad, you can sort of take it wherever and draw from anywhere. I'm somebody who likes to draw in like cafes and libraries, and of course, who knows where I'll be working on it in the coming year. But that's my plan, to draw it on the iPad, and then I'll print it out. I have a really cool printer that lets me print on heavier paper, so I can ink on top of that traditionally. I'll scan it back into my computer, and then I will color it in Photoshop. And yeah, like the book is supposed to be turned in November 1st, 2020, which is an insanely short deadline. I don't know that I'm gonna make it. Maybe that's part of what'll be interesting about this, is whether or not I make it. Maybe I won't need a haircut because I'll just have pulled all my hair out because I'll be going crazy. Yeah, I'm supposed to turn in a draft and hopefully get it approved around July 1st. And then once the editorial feedback is finished, I'll be able to move on to making the final pages, and then I'll have from the beginning of July through November to finish them, which is an incredibly short deadline. I did agree to do it. It was originally longer. I hope I'm allowed to say that. But they want the book to come out in sort of the first year of new books from this new imprint, and so I'm doing my best, but none of us anticipated COVID-19, so hopefully I'll have some leniency if I need it. Given that it's due November 1st, I'm thinking maybe like I'll even have, if I needed some time over the holidays to finish things up, maybe I'll be able to do that. But I'm going to do my best to meet all my deadlines. That's good advice. Try to always meet your deadlines and communicate if you are not going to meet them. For right now, the agreement I have with my editor is I preferred to show him like a complete draft instead of just like sending him scenes or sending him pieces of the book as I was doing them. And he wanted to work the same way. He was like, yeah, when you have a finished draft, send that to me. But I've just been checking in with him every couple of weeks and saying like, hey, I'm at page 100, or it's going kind of slow, but I'm still plugging away. And that seems to be fine for now. I've never worked with him before, so I'm really curious to hear what his feedback is. He had some similar experiences with having really bad acne when he was younger, so I'm excited to work with somebody who understands what that's like, and hopefully some of the like subtle moments and things like that he'll relate to, and I think that'll be a good sign that I'm just trying to convey the truth of that experience, and I hope it comes through. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. In Vermont here, I live in, I have a roommate, but I live basically in this one room. I also work part-time for the Center for Cartoon Studies, so my work computer is in here, and I also draw in here, and we don't have a living room in this apartment, so it's literally just 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a bathroom, and so it feels like very closed quarters. But because it's rural Vermont, I can go outside and walk around and really not run into anyone, and go walk in the forest and kind of get a breather a little bit. And now that it's getting nice out, it's actually really nice to be outside. Yeah, so I wonder if this will be the last video I record, or if I'll actually do all of this. Yeah. Guess we'll see.